Paul, I'll start with my usual Monday question. I'm sure you've watched the tape back from Saturday. Anything you've learned, opinion changed at all?
No, not really. I think my conclusion at the time was I thought we were bullied at times. Not unfairly, I just didn't think we matched the physical challenge as well. And when we had opportunities to score, we didn't take them. So it is similar to that. I watched the game back. Sometimes you watch the game back hoping that you were wrong and think, well, I owe an apology, but I didn't. I didn't think we did enough to. Our performance didn't do enough to win it, although we did create chances. However, we did concede chances. The disappointment thing for me is, and I have told the dressing room this, so no one will be surprised for me to say this. We just wasted the first half. We didn't play with enough pace in our game. Second half we did, the subs came on, but then they're chasing the game, so the game does have a different connotation to it, but they need to play with that pace to give themselves a better chance to win. There's no guarantees you're going to win. I've just spoke to you then about the top six. I think Portsmouth scored a 93rd minute. I think Bolton won 2-1, the rest drew. So it's never an easy game to win anywhere, but if you're going to give yourself the best chance, you just have to start games significantly faster than what we did on Saturday.
Can that be a downside of the break? And we talked about the benefits of the international break, but is maybe that part of the reason for the slow start?
I don't honestly know. I mean, it's not like it's my first rodeo, so I've had many an international break before, and they train really well. So it wasn't something that I smelt or saw, or, as you well know, I spent a lot of time with them. It wasn't thinking, God, the lads are going into this a bit complacent. They were confident, which I want them to be. But I just felt it was a bit slow. I mean, and these aren't excuses but reasons. The pitch was very spongy, so it did slow the pace of the ball down. But, in fairness, second half when we did overhit things and that, we were getting in down the sides. But I don't think the international break has no reason. I appreciate they played last week, so you could say we were fresher, but we didn't look fresher. So that was disappointing. I think it was a mindset thing possibly, which we need to address, because when we play Exeter tomorrow night, it will be another test.
You talked about not taking chances. I feel like we've said that a few times. Yeah. Is that starting to become a concern for you?
Yeah, it was always a concern. Even if it was only 45 minutes we didn't take our chances as a concern. I think, in the league, the amount of attempts or our XG, we should be fourth in the league for amount we create. And at the moment, we're not in the top 10. So we do need to be more ruthless in front of goal. So that is a concern, yeah, it is a concern, but it's a collective concern. I've said this all the time. I show clips today of, we put a ball in and, someone goes and challenges it, and it's about the aggression to get the second ball and things like that. So it's not just about taking the chances that we create. We need to create more, because fundamentally, the last 3 games we haven't scored enough goals. So, and in fairness to Joe, and I know I pay him to make saves, he kept us in it really. We were a bit gung-ho, but it is a concern. But then I've seen him train today, and they look like everything they hit goes in the top bag. So hopefully everything will work tomorrow, and we'll see the best version of ourselves, which may or may not be good enough to beat Exeter. Yeah,
and the cliche is that a game so quickly means it's a chance to put things right.
Yeah, it is. I mean, my politically correct answer is, brilliant. Get there tomorrow night. Every footballer will tell you the same. As a footballer, you just want to go and play straight away. If you win on a Saturday, you want to feel all week of feeling great about yourself, and this is great. But when you lose, you want to play straight away and get that out of your system. I completely agree. As a coach, manager, whatever my title is, sometimes you think, wow, could have done without the Tuesday to get back to a few principles, which I didn't think we need to, but felt like, and that's what a full week gives you. But is what it is. I'm looking forward to the game, because I want the lads to, be the best version of themselves, and hopefully give the fans something they can get right behind, because it's a two-way streak. So hopefully we can leave the ground tomorrow night really pleased and sing like a really good performance. And you still need things to go your way, and that's what it is with football, I think. That when you haven't won for a while, just because you haven't doesn't mean the next game you're going to win. It's like, a bit like roulette, I suppose, but you don't get any more probability of winning because you haven't won the last. You need to win more, but you've got to try and keep the balance of the pressure and needing to win being too much. So we do need a good performance. We do need to start the game well, because You know, we've watched Exeter. I remember last year they came up here and outplayed us, and we struggled to beat them at their place. But Saturday they outplayed Wigan, had 30 attempts at goal, and the scoreline will say different, and their results recently will say different. But there's a lot more to the game than just the scoreline, so we need to be at our best, and hopefully tomorrow night we are.
You talked about needing a performance there, and we know you haven't had the results at home either. Do you feel as though you really want to give the fans both? You want?
Yeah, obviously, because you don't want them to lose faith in the group. Like, I appreciate at the final whistle when the team don't win, I can obviously understand the abject disappointment, as am I. You know me really well. My Sunday was atrocious. So I understand the disappointment at the final whistle, but, you know, the fans, the players have to put a performance on that the fans enjoy watching. Then if at the final whistle they lose, then, you know, it is what it is. But we do need to play well at home, because realistically, if our home form would have been anything like last year, us losing away at Shrewsbury wouldn't be such a catastrophe. However, our home form hasn't been good enough, so there's a greater pressure on our points tally away from home. So, you know, if we can get our home form right, I think our away form's been good. We should, I keep saying it, but we should be in a good position. But at the moment, we're just short on points. We haven't won enough games. We haven't turned enough draws into wins. And if we could flip a couple, obviously we'd be, you know, cruising in the top 6 and causing pressure, but we're not. So there's no point worrying about the top 2, because currently we haven't been good enough to be in the top 6.
Squad, okay? Anyone available, not available?
A couple of, no actual injuries, just a couple of bits of soreness with a couple of players, which we need to decide on. And, you know, obviously the 2 lads coming back in have had another day's training, although in fairness today wasn't really training, it was a bit of token walkthrough. So no dramas in regards to selection, I don't think.